freeway, slinging my, banging my, swinging my coupe. DeVille, scoop, DeVille, like that.
Welcome to NV In Depth, and we are here. It's me, Miss Jill, and E. Fikes. How y'all doing?
What's poppin', man? What's up?
We're doing good. Now, we're going to talk again tonight about entrepreneurship in our community. But there's a reason why we've been talking about entrepreneurship for the last few shows, is because it's very important and very needed in our community for several reasons. But we're also talking, and we want you all to join us for this seminar. If you're running a business, thinking about starting a business, want to be in a business, running a household, a religious organization, if you have anything that you're working for that you need, join us for this financial seminar. Is July 22nd, which is this Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Summit. You can pre-register by calling 260-348-5785 or register at info@neutralvoices.org. Now, what this is, it's going to give you some information about your finances. It's called Building Your Financial Foundation. We all need that help.
Yeah,
you know,
everybody.
If you're starting or if you're rebuilding, it gives you some information. And this is going to be a 4-part seminar. This is the first one. We're asking everybody to join us, and it's presented by Our Neutral Voices.
I have a question. So, does someone have to pre-register, or is that just to ensure that you have a seat? Because you can also just show up at the door for a ticket as well?
Twofold answer to that. The first part is yes. We want everybody to register because we can have a head count.
Right.
And we want to make sure we have enough seating. But I do believe that if you show up, they're going to make accommodations as availability for everybody that wants to be there. But if you could please register so we could get a head count, and also have seating available, we would greatly appreciate that. Yep. Now, we had 3 entrepreneurs on our show last night, Miss Jill, and that was your show. We had a young lady.
Yes, we had Zenia Marie.
Zaraya
Marie. We had Jewelry by Marie.
Yes.
And we also had Marcos from Life and Balance Nutrition, who brought us drinks. And we also had Ramadan, who we called our veteran entrepreneur, to kind of guide the conversation as well.
Yeah. Now, we were talking before we came on, and we're going to get into this right now. Now, entrepreneurship, it's really just simply, in layman's term, working for yourself, being your own business. Like Jay-Z said in one of his songs,
I'm not a businessman, I'm a business
man. There you go.
So you got to understand how people don't understand you, even at your job that you work, they make it seem like they're the business. If you break it down and understand it, I am a business because I have the skill to do what you want me to do. And we don't look at it from that standpoint. We need to start looking at it from the standpoint, whatever you do for a job, you are a business.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said it.
Yep.
We're gonna take a quick break, jump into this video real quick, and then we're gonna discuss this a little bit more.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, Dreams without goals are just dreams.
Absolutely loved that. Absolutely loved it.
What did you love about it?
So when he got to the part, I actually had to write it down because I was going to say something about it. When he was talking about make sure we always have something to fall back on, the first thing I thought of is, but why do we have to fall? Why can't we choose that first? Why does it have to be a fallback? And then so he went on to say that, and because I think a lot of us, will say that. Well, this is Plan B.
Mm-hmm.
It's never Plan A. And I agree. I'm going to go back a little bit with what he said, because he used himself as he's providing a service that somebody is willing to pay for.
Right.
And without that service, they would have to hire someone else. So it is a different perspective. I didn't think about that, but it's absolutely true.
Well, I mean, one of the big, and I love that part when he said fallback.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of us try to, we in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
That's
true.
As
That's
far
real
as being
true.
an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you I was in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you got to have this, you got to do that. No, at the end of the day, when he said, I don't want to fall backwards,
Mm-hmm.
because it makes plenty of sense when you fall backwards. You don't know what you're falling on.
Mm-hmm.
But if I move forward and I fail at what I try to accomplish,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel forward because I failed.
Right.
I want to fall forward because I know when I'm hitting. So as I'm falling,
Right.
I can see what I didn't do right.
There you go.
Yep, exactly.
And when I get up, I'm going to say, okay, I didn't do this, and right. So when I try it again, that's the first thing I attack.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jill, you said this, and E, you hit on this too. I think, and E, last time me and Jill had this conversation, you weren't here, but I gave you much credit. And I do believe that the shift came in our paradigm or in our thought in a Black community is when segregation was eliminated. Now,
Exactly.
The only reason I say this is because there was a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. Now, I am going to say when we talk to Ramadan, you do understand, though, that to a certain cap, and I only say this is because as Ramadan was talking about raw materials, but we had the heart of entrepreneurship, and I think we could have continued that. And I think what happened was when we were allowed to move out of our own dependence and go get this guaranteed, that's that Plan A, where your entrepreneurship is Plan B. We go get this guaranteed check.
Yeah.
Our mind shifted to,
Yep.
all right, that job is going to be there. That job has security. That job has this. So we left the mentality of entrepreneurship, during that time. But the Plan A should be the entrepreneurship.
It should
Because
never be a plan B.
it should never be a Plan B. It should
I
never be a
mean,
Plan B.
I look at it, and like I said, I can talk from my own experience. I should never. I always have the entrepreneurship spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Always, but it was always, well, you got to take care of this. You got to take care of that. The funny part about being an entrepreneur, if I know I got X, Y, Z to take care of, that's gonna drive me further.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because that's going to really put me into overdrive to handle what I need to handle, because I know I got to take care of this, and this. Versus, I got a guaranteed check over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the funny part about it. You actually don't even have a guaranteed check
That's true.
over here.
That's true.
Only thing you can guarantee is I can guarantee me getting up and busting my butt for myself
Mm-hmm.
versus busting my butt for somebody. The funny part about it is we get up, a lot of us get up every morning
Mm-hmm.
and we go to work. We go to work for somebody that had a dream.
Right. He said that.
Yeah, we go to work every morning for somebody else's dream. Why can't we get up every morning for our dream?
Because I don't think that we're confident in ourselves a lot anymore. I think the confidence, like I say, GM has been in business, and we believe GM been in business for over 50, 60 years. I know it's been longer than that, but if they ain't going out of business now, they're not going to go out of business.
Right.
That's our mentality.
Right.
So that check is going to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm going to be in business. Because the problem with entrepreneurship and the thing about it is we fear that failure. We fear that falling, but it's very needed in our community. And a failure can be two things. It can be either a lesson or a blessing, because you build from either one of them. Everything you learn, every day you live, it's a lesson or a blessing. So you got to take from that. Now, it doesn't take a whole lot. I said this last time. It doesn't take a whole lot to start your own business or be your own business. As we were talking before we came on the air, Jill, tell me a passion that you have that you think that you utilize that you could turn into your own business.
Writing.
Writing. How could you make that profitable for you?
In a lot of ways. I've done some of them on small scales. Writing, I wrote wedding vows. I've written cards, birthday cards, letters, flyers, for things like that for other people, more like as favors. But I know there's a lot of ways I could monetize. I just, like E said, I am one of those. It becomes overwhelming. I have to do X, Y, Z. But you know what? I've been in the same profession for 20 years. I'm comfortable over here. I know that my bills are going to be paid, blah, blah, blah. I put so much trust in these people that would replace me tomorrow if I fell off the face of the earth, but not enough trust in myself and my abilities to actually take that leap. So it has always not even been a plan B for me. It's been more down like a D or an E, or it'll be the right time. It'll be the right time. And then the right time never comes.
The right time is today. But complacency is the first cousin of failure, right? E, now you just starting your own business, correct?
Correct.
And what is that business?
Photography.
How did you get involved in it? What brought you to that? Where is your love for
honestly, I've been doing photography for, so long. I just did it just because I know how to do it. I mean, I used to actually take pictures at parties. So it was just like, okay. I mean, back in the day when we had the Polaroid, I used to do that type of party. I mean, that type of pictures at parties. But, time going on, I got a kid, I got this, I got that. But I always had a passion for taking pictures, and it's always been cool and fun to me. I mean, it's something I'm not saying it's easy work, but I'm like, it's something that come natural. I mean, it's something come natural for me. It's easy. But at the end of the day, I understand now that I'm 45, I don't care how long I work for a company, that check is not guaranteed.
Right.
Because guess what? Especially in this state of Indiana, I could walk in tomorrow. My boss don't like the way I got my shoes tied. I'm fired.
Exactly.
So I mean, we so quick to depend on other entities versus not depending on ourselves.
Right.
And that's I was like, forget it. I got about 4 or 5 cameras. I'm like, something, I'm finna break down.
Right.
And a lot of times when somebody is at a job for a very long time and it's not even anything remotely close to what they enjoy doing. Like you said, the work is not easy when it's your passion, but it's easier to do when you love what you do.
Right.
So even all of us, that go and get up at 5 a.m. and blah, 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 blah. We don't love doing that.
Right.
We just haven't, I don't know what it takes. I said last night, everybody has an aha moment.
Right.
The young lady is 13. She had hers.
Right.
Some of us have it and never follow through. And that's the moment something has to happen.
Well, you know something, a lot of us overlook our aha moment.
Yep.
And then we do it because we're too scared.
Yep.
So, man, we can figure the same thing.
We get scared. And at the end of the day, if you scared, they're saying if you're scared, go to church.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, and that's one of the biggest things, if you don't believe in yourself, how can anybody else believe in you?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
and you
true.
can't even ask anybody to.
I can't because, some people see your talent like, hey, man, you need to be doing X, Y, Z. Nah, man, I'm going to go ahead. Nah. If you got people that tell you, hey, you need to go ahead and knock that out. But you don't believe in yourself when other people actually believe in you, and you doubting yourself. So at what point you get out your way?
Right. And that's the thing. Now the biggest investment And I think a lot of people don't have
Man, you in my brain.
the mindset to understand the biggest investment. It's not a financial
Right.
investment.
Right.
Self-investment.
Your self-investment.
Exactly.
You got to understand now, being an entrepreneur it takes time, and it's time that you don't have. You have to sacrifice. That's the first thing you have to sacrifice. Now, I work every day. I run a business every day. I'm at one of my businesses. I don't say business. I'm at one of my businesses, or doing one of my businesses every day. I might be doing 2 or 3. Now, I'm a person that I operate better on less sleep. Now, I can go to work. I can go do this podcast, and when I leave here, I got my headphones. I got my computer. I'm doing music. Either I'm writing it, I'm producing it, or I'm doing something. I even have. You say writing, and this is what I'm telling you. You can be your own boss. I even evolved to now. There's a comedian friend of mine that she just went and filmed a special and everything. I started writing material for her, and it's how you find your sacrifice, and you got to find, and it takes that. But the importance of entrepreneurship, it's good that we have this, but why is it important in our community? Is because we have not only no time invested in our community, we have no financial or hard investment in our community. And things are happening in our community that we can't come back because we don't have the financial means. Think about it. If you and I, we get our business up, we're running it, we're doing it, we're successful. The problem is we don't come back and put back here. A lot of us, some do. There's some still here. Like I said, I'm going to give Doc V her credit, her flowers, everything. She said she planted on the southeast side of town. She's going to stay on the southeast side of town, and she has not moved. She is continuing here. But there's some of us that we don't root and we don't come back. And that hurts our community, because if we got together, it could take your nickel, it could take my dime, it could take somebody else's dollar.
Correct.
All this stuff that we want in our community,
we can put it in.
We can put it here. In the stuff that we don't want in our community,
we can push it out.
We can combat it and push it out.
Because you'll have that
we have that
the
investment,
luxury to be able to do that because of the investment.
Because why do we need 900 gas stations in a 5-block radius?
No, seriously.
You said 905 blocks.
Yeah,
man, it's 902 blocks.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you're right. I mean, like I said, other people see the value in our community,
right?
And we don't see the value in our community because we so quick. We got that dollar. Pew, we up out of here.
Right.
Versus we got that dollar. I'm going to spend 60 cents in my community.
Right.
And build my community with that 60 cent and take that 40 cent and let it sit off to the side and take that 60 cent and let it just build off that 40. But we don't understand that mentality. But guess who understand that mindset?
A lot of people.
A lot of people that are outside our community be like, oh yeah, we finna totally go here, and they don't. It's a strong arm robbery.
Yep.
I mean, that's
you
all.
Understand what the truth is.
Hands down, whatever. It's a strong arm robbery, and guess what? We complain, well, we ain't got this. Well, here's the funny part about it. Instead of go buying them 20s and buying an Escalade, and you live in the squares, how about you take them 20s off that Escalade and matter of fact, dump the Escalade.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? And don't live, buy a house in the community,
right? And
take the money and say you have the entrepreneurship spirit, and guess what? Let's start this business.
Yeah. And that's all it takes. And I know people that are very good entrepreneurs. I mean, it can start simple, and we talked about this, like the young lady, hers is beads. But I never could do it, and I don't know if you ever did it as a kid. I never could cut grass or rake leaves because of I'm not good outside of my allergy. But come winter, man, I could get out there and I could make a hustle shoveling snow. I can shovel so much snow that, through the winter, you good. But we don't encourage, and I think that's a lack too. We don't encourage our kids to get out there to do that. Now, to do that kind of hustle. Now, I give my kid a bag or, a sack, go hustle this off. But the mentality, like, you can go shovel snow, you can go do this, you can go do this. And in it, seasonal income, I know people that cut grass in the spring and
Yeah.
summer and fall, they don't have to work the winter because they got that.
Yeah.
I know people that only wait for the winter. They do snow removal. So there's things that you can do. But when we bring these to our community, like he said, we need to invest back into our community. We
Well,
need that tax base.
You know, I know a young man I think he's a junior this year. And his dad worked on cars.
Mhm.
So what he was smart enough to do is say, my dad worked on cars. How about I detail the cars at my dad's spot? Dad taught him how
That's
to
how you
taught
Right.
him how to, okay, you want to detail cars?
Right.
Cool. When I get a car in, I work on it. You detail it. We charge a fee for you
Right.
detailing that car.
right.
You don't have to pay for space
Yeah,
because it's
but
already here.
It's
within the
already
fam-
so.
Yep.
Now at this point, he's 16 years old, and he has a business minded as okay. Now when a car come in, he my dad work on the car. He goes to the customer. I detail your car for $50-$60 right afterwards.
Right afterwards.
So guess what? Dad's done working on your car. XYZ been paid to my dad. I'm gonna take $60 out from what my dad do,
Right.
and detail your car.
Right.
Yeah.
That's business.
Yeah.
But see, and that's a thing that we need, because you say other communities, or you think of other communities.
They do the same thing.
You can go to these 900 gas stations. You can see a 12-year-old, and you can't tell me he more than 12, but you see a 12-year-old learning the business,
Absolutely.
working the
Absolutely.
business, doing the business. And Jill, you said that with your family.
Yep. Yep.
Your family did that at the gas
Yeah,
station.
we didn't hire outside of family, mostly friends if they had to.
So that's what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mentality we need. We need to teach our generations to come. Too many times, from recipes to anything that we have in our community that we keep sacred, we
secret.
die with it. We don't share it with nobody. We don't pass it along to nobody. Our secrets die with us, and that's a hurt to our community. I mean, there's still people living off Rockefeller money because they taught them how to live off Rockefeller money.
Correct.
There's people living off Eastman Kodak money because they taught them how to live. So what I'm saying is we need to teach our kids as well how, when we start a business, how to continue and maintain that business and keep that business. I'm telling you, if we still... I'm gonna give Cam Brooks his flowers because he's trying to keep his grandmother's legacy alive with Brooks Barbecue. I'm gonna give it, but there's not too many other ones we can say that that they are still a legacy that we can keep them in the community. I'm not saying there's not any, but Cam came to mind. But there's not many that we can say.
Well, something I found out. Our kids don't want to stay in our shadows, and it's funny that they don't want to be in our shadows because, oh, well, my daddy did this. I don't want to be. No, guess what? Your daddy did this so I could tear a wall down for you could walk right in, take over, and take it to the next level. And that's where we feel as a community, I'm going to say as a Black community, because we feel like, oh, I'm not giving my child an easy route. No, I want him to have that
burns
easy.
me.
I want him to have that easy route. Guess what? So if I teach you the business, and you can see how we can elevate to another level, because I'm only seeing one way.
Yes.
Even like that, or we could go this way with it as well. All right, let's break it down.
You pave the path, he walks in the path.
He walks in the path, and guess what he do with that path? He walk in.
He widens it.
He widens it.
He widens it. Yeah.
So I mean, it's something, and I see it all the time. Oh, I don't want to follow in my daddy's feet. Doc, following his footsteps. Matter of fact, he laid a path, destroy the path,
right.
make it so much bigger and wider. So when you can pass it down to your child,
Yes.
they can make it wider than what you made it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's almost like, I'm not gonna keep cutting you off, but
No, you're good.
It's almost like our own family is a crab
In a bucket.
Yes.
Oh man,
Yes.
preach that. Go ahead, Jim.
There's just something that I wanted to make sure that I got out tonight, because so when I was younger, I thought that entrepreneur was a bad thing, because do you remember like in the 80s and 90s, like the grumpy white dad would be at the table, and they're like the boyfriend would be with the girl, and he'd be like, "You're dating my daughter. What do you do for a living?" And then he would be like, "Well, I'm an entrepreneur, sir."
Right.
And it was almost frowned upon
Right.
because entrepreneur, nobody wanted.
That meant you didn't
It
have a
meant you
job.
were lazy.
You didn't have a
So
job.
now, am I wrong in thinking that we almost view it in a completely different light? Because I grew up thinking if you said entrepreneur, then I needed to stay away from you
Right.
because you're lazy.
Right.
That's not even close to what it is.
And that goes into, the programming that they wanted you to work for somebody else's dream. Those factories,
exactly.
in the program. But, there's places, and Jill, I'm going to let you go in this space, but there's places, there's things, there's resources in a community that can help you if you want to start a business.
Yeah. So I was talking to a friend at the Seed Building today. Her name is Nikesha. And the Seed Building is, if you guys Google it, Seed has a website, SEED, just like a seed. So what they do is they help, new businesses or existing businesses. I don't work for them, so I can't quote the program. But what I can tell you is there is a program for those who want to start a business. Maybe there's some assistance with grants. Like I said, I am not quoting details, just a little brief information. But my point is right here in the city, probably 5 or 10 minutes from wherever you live, there is a place you can go and sit down for free and find out if they can help you start your business. Nothing to lose. So the resources are there to wipe out some of the barriers that people, don't go forward. So also I know another startup. I wouldn't say that's actually a startup. That's more an entrepreneurship career center for kids. So I don't know if they do anything after.
That mentorship place?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. We really need to get entrepreneurship booming back into our community. The main reason is we need to have a financial investment in our community. We need to be able to not go to the table, but go up to them and to whoever has the table and say, we want or we don't want. And when they say, how's this going to happen? Boom, here's the finances, here's the resources, here's how we're going to do it. That's the only way we're going to make changes in our community if we start investing back into our community. Again, we need these things. And it may seem hard at first. It may seem hard. It may seem almost overwhelming. But if you have a love, if you have a gift, I said this when Jill and I talked the last time. If you cook, if you're selling plates, start a restaurant. If you like being outside, if you can cut grass, start a lawn service. If you can do it in the winter, start it. If you know how to fix a car, start an auto mechanic business.
Yes.
It doesn't take, the most you're going to invest is your time. And I told the story, and we're going to get out of here. Hold on, Jill. My business started in a suitcase. In a suitcase. And you can grow from there. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes that dream. It just takes that will. Go ahead, Jill.
One additional thing, we talked about everything that is difficult about entrepreneurship, but as you were stating there, another part that's very important is support. So if you've been asking for a breakfast place to come close to you and boom, there's a breakfast place and you don't support it, then you aren't holding up your end. You will go to McDonald's every Saturday or Sunday.
And they're going to mess up your order every time.
Right? Exactly.
Every
and
time.
you go back. You go just your boyfriend. You go back to your boyfriend. You go back to so many things. So
Right.
supporting these businesses when they do show up in our communities is key.
Yes.
And that's the easy part.
That's
That is the
easy.
easy part.
I give you that.
Support your people.
Support your people. And that's Jill gave me a segue. We're going to ask you to support this. Please register for the seminar. It's this Saturday, July 22nd at the Summit. That's down here on Rudersell Street. It starts at 7. We're going to ask you to pre-register. It is on our website, and you can be able to look at this, and please pre-register so we can get a head count and we can know how many is going to be there. But if you do not register, we're not going to turn you away. Please show up. But we just want to make sure we have adequate seating and we have enough for everybody to get in. If you're in a business, running a business, want to start a business, run a household, whatever it is, building your financial foundation, we all need to either rebuild, shore up, or build our financial foundation. Please join it. It's sponsored by Our Neutral Voices. Again, this is this Saturday, July 22nd at the Summit at 7 p.m. And before we leave our people, what do we always say?
always protect your mind.
Chase 405 is the freeway, slinging my, banging my, swinging my coupe. DeVille, school.